Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 3. It's Wednesday, May 10th, and we're going to talk about something that's kind of been talked about a lot. And I know it's beating a dead horse right now, but it's something I want to talk about. Somebody that I knew and that I went to school with and I grew up, got in trouble, and you guys might have heard of it on the news. And it's the headline to it was Mother Pleads No Contest and 1 year old daughter's overdosed. So we're gonna talk about that story, and then we're gonna kind of just go in and we're gonna go on the CDC, and I'm kind of just gonna go over some of the statistics with you guys on the opiate crisis that's going out here, because it's crazy. Because this is the type of shit that is going on in here. So it's alleged that on Saturday, July 23rd, 2022, 32-year-old Anita of New Haven was driving in Roseville when she flagged down a patrol car. Anita's 1-year-old daughter was having medical emergencies. Later, it was determined that the 1-year-old ingested heroin from the mother's purse. The child received emergency care and survived the incident. Anita was charged with possession of controlled substance less than 25 grams, which carries a 4-year felony, child abuse in the third degree, which carries a 2-year felony, and child abuse in the fourth degree, which is a 1-year misdemeanor. Several days ago, Anita pleaded no contest on all charges in front of a Macomb County Circuit judge. Anita will be sentenced on Thursday, January 22nd of 2023. Anita remains in Macomb County Jail pending sentence. This is a tragic case where 1-year-old's life was put in danger as a result of her mother's actions. The defendant's behavior could have resulted in the child's death. It is our duty to hold the mothers accountable for her actions, especially when it comes to the safety and well-being of a child, said Macomb County prosecutor. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office represents the people. We are committed to achieving justice and following the laws of the state of Michigan. And then they have a picture of her, and she looks like, oh, fuck. That's right, bitch. Oh, fuck. Watch your kids fucking better. Keep them out of your shit. Keep them out of your purse. Like, I understand, and I know she didn't give the heroin to the baby. It's not like she was shooting the baby up. But if you're having something like that in your fucking purse, don't have your purse anywhere near your kid. Don't just assume that your child's not going to go in there and get it and do it. So she's gotten exactly everything that's coming to her, because more than 932,000 people have died since 1999 from a drug overdose. Nearly 75% of drug overdose deaths in 2020 involved an opiate. Opiates are substances that work in the nervous system of the body or in specific receptors in the brain to reduce the intensity of pain. Overdose deaths involving opiates include prescription opiates, heroin, synthetic heroin like fentanyl, have increased more than 8 times since 1999. Overdoses involving opiates killed nearly 69,000 people in 2020, and over 82% of those deaths involved synthetic opiates. So it seems like opiates are going to be the main thing. So we're going to go to the opiate data analyze and resource section. Guys, this is on the cdc.gov if you guys want to check out these numbers and look at this yourself and see what there are on here. If you're wondering what is considered an opiate, a natural opiate includes morphine and codeine, and semi-synthetic opiates like oxycodone, hydrocodone, and oxymorphine. Um, then you got synthetic opiates that other than methadone, like tramadol and fentanyl. And then heroin, which is obviously an illegally made opiate synthetic form of morphine that can be a white or brown powder, or a black sticky substance. And that contributes to more than 564,000 people dying from overdoses involving any opiate, including prescriptions and illicit opiates, from 1999 to 2020. The rise in opiate overdose deaths can be outlined in three distinct waves. The first wave began with increased prescription opiates in the early 90s. The second wave began in 2010 with the rapid increase of overdose deaths involving heroin. And the third wave began in 2013 with a significant increase in overdose deaths involving synthetic opiates, those involving fentanyl. The market for illicitly manufactured fentanyl continues to change, and it can be found contributing with heroin, counterfeit pills, and cocaine. Guys, this shit is nuts. Pills are nuts. They give pills to everybody. The shit is crazy the way they give it to them. It's nuts. They just hand it right out to you. There's no way. When I was younger, I was on Klonopin. I had to take that shit 3 times a day. I had to wake up, take it. I had to take it with lunch, and then I had to take it with dinner. I was a fucking zombie, and there was nothing I can do about it. And it got to the point where it just was... I took it every day, and my body became physically addicted to it. And they just gave it to me, and it didn't really even feel like it was working and it was doing shit. I was going to the doctor, telling the doctor, and finally they told me one day, like, there is no set prescription for somebody. Like, when you have anxiety or depression or mental health, there's no set thing. They just give you cocktails of drugs. They just try and see what works. He straight told me there's no set prescription for a certain thing. It's what works for everybody and what works for different people. So they come and they give it to you, and then they give it to you when they shouldn't give it to you. I was 16 when I got put on Klonopin, so you can imagine how that worked out, being 16 and getting these drugs that I'm hearing about on in music and all of this. And at first, I legitly just took my prescriptions normally. I knew what they were, and I knew they could fuck you up, and I was getting a buzz like when I took them, so I didn't feel the need to like abuse them and pop them like da. I took it the way I did. I took it 3 times a day. At first, my mom took the prescriptions and she held it, but then as I got older and I moved out and they became me, I was doing it, and then it got to a point where it was bad, and it was super bad. And I'm super lucky, and I thank God every day that I am where I am in this world, and I try to be there for people. I have a tattoo on my forearm that says, "I'm not telling you that it was easy. I'm telling you it was worth it," because you can wind up and you can be that. You know, that very well could be anybody that I know from my past. There's a lot of people that that were in heavy drugs, and it's affected a lot of people, and it's a thing, and I'm pretty sure that anybody listening here can step back and say that they know somebody that has been addicted or was addicted, or maybe they lost somebody from it. And it's not that I hang out with a bunch of drug people, and it's not that I have a bunch of degenerate or dysfunctional family members and people in my life. I don't. It's just, that's what I'm telling you. It's that widespread. It's people that you don't think of. It's the mom or the dad you see at school dropping their kids off and telling them they love them. It's the hardworking dad that goes to work every day and is hurting his back and destroying his back and doing what it needs to do to be able to go to work again the next day. It's the mom that's stressed out and is doing everything to the max and has nowhere to turn and is getting some Xanax from Jen at fucking Pilates, and that's where a lot of it comes from, is people that are not really prescribed them, don't understand the actual repercussions of the pills and what they can do, and they take them and they completely fuck themselves up or they kill themselves. And that's not every overdose, but that is a high overdose factor to it. I mean, 75% out of all overdose are contributed to opiates, and then 45% out of that is prescription opiates. So that is, like I said, that's your Vicodin. That's the people that are on long-term prescription pills and taking them, and finally their body gives out on them, or something like that. And it's nuts. And I can't believe that with it being such a crisis and such an issue, that somebody that has the most control, that it seems to be so worried about it, right, is the government, and it's the law, right? That they're war on drugs, yet they control big pharma, and they let big pharma be the ones that push this out and shove it down everybody's throat. Nobody is making hydrocodone in their basement. Nobody is pressing narcos and then taking them to the corner and then flooding them. Nobody is going to the grocery store and stealing cough syrup and making Percocets. That's coming right from the fucking government. That's the biggest fucking drug dealer. And it's such an issue, and they want to deal with it, but they don't. Yeah, you guys took it off the shelf and you rescheduled stuff as Schedule 1, but all you really did is try to make it so nobody else can do the shit, and you're the ones getting all the money from it. That's all it is, and I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything. I don't think the government's out to get us. It's facts. I mean, if the government has such an issue with it, and it is such an overrunning problem, which it seems to be, they give you the numbers. Those numbers are coming straight from the CDC. This is everything right on the CDC. 50% of children 12 and older will have tried an illicit drug. Stop giving them out. There it is right there. Stop prescribing them. If it's such an issue, there should be no reason that you need to give a child or prescribe a young child mind-altering drugs. And when you get to some of them, they're mind-altering drugs. When you really want to talk about it, the benzo pills and like your Xanax, your Klonopins that you give people for anxiety are mind-altering drugs. It completely changes the way you think. It changes the way you are, and it changes the way you think about stuff, and that's what it did to me. It literally, what I tell people is it takes away your conscience. Like, you might know, and maybe it's not for everybody, but for me, you could know you're doing something wrong, but you're like, I don't give a fuck, I'm doing it. Fucking, I want to do it. It's going to benefit me. That's cool. I'm fucking doing it. And that's how it was for me. And I just got lucky that I got to a point where I stood in the mirror one day and was just absolutely disgusted with the person that looked back at me. And I got clean, and I had a great support system, and I was in a completely new state with new people, and everybody supported me, and I was able to get clean. And I thank my wife, because she was there for me, and she walked through it with me, and she was patient with me when I did it. And it sucks, and it's hard for people to do. It is a lot easier to stay addicted than it is to not be addicted. And unless you've been there, you don't know. It's so easy to go, well, just get clean, stop taking them, go to rehab. Yeah, I can go to rehab, but then there's stuff that you guys don't see. And I don't care what music video, no movie can portray the feeling and the scaredness of throwing up tar for no reason, because your body is in a sense of bulging for and needing that, and it feels like it's dying. The pain that comes with it, the night terrors, the sweats, the mood swings, it is outstanding to none. Anybody that had COVID and you had it horribly, had COVID, times that times like 10, and that's an everyday thing, and it randomly will happen out of nowhere. And then, like I said, then add nasty vomits and shaking on top of it. You can die from stopping taking pills, and that's what people do. It's not just like a mental thing. It becomes a physical aspect too, where you legit get sick when you don't take it. And that's where the trap is for a lot of people. The trap is within the sense of being sick and needing it to get by. And it's not that you want to take it. It's like, fuck, I got work today and I'm over here fucking jonesing and I'm sick as shit, so I need to take a fucking hit. And and that's where that mental part comes into play, because you're mentally talking yourself into it. Well, I'm just going to take this one hit and then I'll be able to get through work, and then I can be sick when I get home. And then when you get home, you're sick, and then you got a little bit, and then it's, well, I already took some this morning, so I might as well just take a little bit now again, and then I'll be good. I already did it today, so we'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow starts, and it's the same shit. And then it's, well, I did it yesterday, so then that day turns into, well, I'll do it this week, and then next week I'll stop. And then it's, well, I might as well just do it on a month. And then it's just, you're relapsed. And then it gets to the point where then it's been like 3 weeks, and you're like, well, fuck it. Like, I've already fucked up anyway. And then you're so mad at yourself for doing it, and then you stay into it or whatever. I know it. I've seen so many people that have gone through it. I know what it is. I've seen them do it. I've heard the stories. I've talked with them. I've been down that road. I've done that road myself. I did it with my medication through my anxiety. Like I said, I did it with Klonopin. I thank God never got addicted to it, but I've had very, very, very close people to me struggle with heroin and have that addiction with heroin, and it's a constant thing. And it stems, like I said, back down into prescriptions, because a lot of people get into the oxycodone and the heroin from the Vicodin standpoint, where Vicodin doesn't become enough anymore, so then they need something stronger, because that's how it is. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes something stronger, and then something stronger becomes something stronger, and then that, and then so on. And next thing you know, you're taking bumps of fucking heroin, and then you're bumping, and then you're shooting or whatever. And then you're, like I said, then you're in that point where your body's hooked and you're sick, and then you're just talking yourself into it, and then it's a mental thing, and then it's a fucking, and then you're physically sick, so it's not just easy, and it's not just stopping, and it's not just as easy as a lot of people think. So it's a battle, and if you guys are out there and you're battling with it, I'm here. If we don't know each other, we can get to know each other. You can come to me. You can talk to me. I can be there for you. I've done it. I've seen it. I've been there. I've beat it. I've slayed it. I've conquered it. I've come out on the other end much stronger. I can stand here today and proudly talk about my past, because my past does not define who I am, and it does not need to define you. I am a very successful, loving husband, father, and friend. I do more for other people than most can imagine doing. So, you know what? Yeah, I was an addict at once in my life. And I'm proud to say that I can take that, and I can share my stories, and hopefully maybe be there for somebody else. And maybe instead of casting a stone, why don't you be a hand for some people? Because I didn't have a hand for some people, and I feel that if I could have had a hand from some people, especially very close people, that it might have veered me off that path a lot sooner to where I am today. So, you guys reach out to me. You can send me a message on here. You can find me on TikTok at Pretty Boy, and you can message me there. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can message me anywhere that you can find me on social media, and we can talk. I can be there for you. You can just vent to me. I can give you some advice if you want some advice. If you don't want anyone telling you what to do, like I said, we can just bullshit. If you just want a friend, I can be that friend. If you need somebody to just feel like they're there and you just want someone to care for you because you don't have anybody, I'll be that person. I care. If I can just help one person, that's it. That's great for me, and I'd love to do it. So reach out, and we can talk about that. So, guys, thanks for joining in. We did it again. That's episode 3. We're going to call this one Addiction the Plague. Join in for episode 4. I might drop it. I'm going to try to drop another one sooner this week. It depends if I can get somebody to come on. If you guys want to come on, I'd love to have you. Like I said, hit me up anywhere you can find me on social media. It's PBT or Pretty Boy Topher, pretty much anywhere on social media platforms. And reach out to me and we'll get you on the show. I hope to see you guys and hear you guys and have you with me again on the next episode. So stay with it. Stay fresh with it. Out.